Iowa Debris and Jennifer Lopez on talent.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I'm the CakeDive, and today on the 23rd day of Vlogmas, I believe, we will be talking about Cardi B, and Offset, unfortunately. So, Cardi B recently was seen at a club. The girl was having like a battle of cash. Like she was just like throwing dollar bills at Offset. They were trying to like make it rain on each other, trying to do competitions. The girls was thinking they was gonna get back together somewhat because it's like, why y'all both there together? And then they're hopping on Twitter Spaces and like screenshots of like text messages are coming out, and it's showing that Cardi B is like was aware that Offset was gonna be at the club, and it's like, oh, like why are you at the club? And pulls up at the club at him, and she's trying to suggest that she's unbothered by like them splitting up and stuff like that. But then situations like this happen. They're arguing on Twitter Spaces, talking about each other and stuff like that. And the girls have had enough. Like, when do it become a little bit weird, y'all? And for me, it's just kind of like Cardi B. What I wanted to come here and talk about in the podcast is just that Cardi B needs to get off social media, like for good. And it's not because she's like talented or anything, but it's just like throughout the last couple of years, it just seems to me as if, even though Cardi B got a lot of her fame and her success and has also like proven her longevity through social media, and she has a lot of different memes and like iconic moments that either happened on social media or were shared and successful because of social media. Um, it just seems like because of the fact that like a lot of these strange and like almost embarrassing moments between her and Offset, or like her between like the bars, or her between her fans and her between her haters are happening. It just seems as if the best course of action for her is just to leave social media. Like, give it to her team or hop on social media when you promote music. Like, the girls don't want to see this. Like, they don't want to see you arguing about Offset and stuff like that. Haters do, the barbs do, but the fans and the people who casually listen to you and rock with you, they want to know when you're dropping an album. They want to know when you're dropping music. They want to know what's coming up, what's cooking up next, what your next features are, what your next brand deals are. Like, they are trying to root for you, and you keep like showing your ass and like embarrassing yourself. And the thing is, like, I am putting it on her, but it's not in the course of like this is all on her, because the thing is, like, Offset is the one who should be getting the real lashings, because that man is a certified loser. Like, that man really consistently cheated on her. That man kept like that man basically like baby trapped her with multiple children, because literally we all know the cycle. He would cheat on her, she would break up with her and be upset, you know, and she be doing like she be making like money moves. Like, we get new music, we be getting the seasons to the album, she be getting brand new. Like, she really be hustling when she's away from Offset. Then he be trying to do some half-ass, trying to get her a call, trying to get her a gift, trying to apologize, half apologize. She goes back to her because she wants that love. Then they have a baby, and then the cycle begins again. It seemed like it was going to change because she like had a new baby with him after like the cheating or whatever was going on the last time. Then she announced the divorce formally. The girls was gagging. The girls was ready for the divorce, and like obviously it was a little bit off because, like, no pun intended, because of the fact that she was releasing the like what freestyle, and that was like directed by Offset or something like that, and like the girls was like, oh, um, and obviously because of the dynamic of this relationship and even like other relationships like this too, like Halle Bailey and DDG, like, as much as people don't like the two together or don't like one of the two, we're talking about the men here, we're not talking about them people disliking the women. It just seems because of the fact that there's babies, there's children involved, these men will forever be tethered to these women. whether they were married or not. And obviously, like, they have to reckon with that. But I think it's because of the repeated cycles of them having to like interact with these men on a public scale, and also them having to interact with social media on a public scale, with social media like literally slamming these men and disliking these men because they're weird and have showed their ass publicly multiple times, numerous times. Because of the public interactions, or because of like them slipping up and having like, you know, moments like what happened with Cardi B, in which they were seen together at that club. It just like builds, establishes a narrative that they really don't need. The men need it because they need the attention, because they're less successful than the women in these relationships and these dynamics. But the women don't need this. Like, Cardi B doesn't need this because Cardi B never needed Offset. Cardi B got no clout off of Offset. Cardi B had no success off Offset. If anything, it was the opposite. Offset always was getting the coins and the push and the support because of the fact that he, for a long time, was married to Cardi B. That album that most recent album that he was releasing that people were like streaming, wasn't because of the fact that he's like a good rapper or anything like that. He's okay. Like, I'll listen to it on the iPod, but it's because of the fact that he was with Cardi B and there were multiple Cardi B collabs on there. As well as the fact that he was collabing with other women that the girls was like fucking with, like Chloe and Lotto. So, and if he wasn't married to Cardi B, or if it wasn't like this thing was nipped in the bud earlier on in the relationship, he would probably be in the same boat as like Quavo right now. No shade to Quavo, because Quavo can make some good music, but nobody's really like listening and streaming Quavo as a solo artist like that. Like, the girls was listening to both of them more when it was the Migos. May take off, rest in peace. But like, nobody really cares about their solo music like that nowadays. It's just the cards. It's just the cards that were dealt to them, unfortunately. But yeah, it's getting weird. It's every time both of them keep popping on social media talking about this. Like, I've seen a lot of people say that it's giving like Blueface and Krishan, which like really sucks, because you know how bad it's gotta be for you to be compared to Blueface and Krishan. But yeah, like, and the other thing is, like, I was listening to King of Reed's episode talking about this, and that's kind of what motivated me to talk about the video. Again, love King of Reed's now, and y'all should tune into his videos, because, you know, he be having his face in the videos if y'all really want the visuals, and he really talks about these things with a lot of thought, a lot of care, a lot of like, you know, nuance to it. And one thing that I liked in his video that he mentioned was that these two are literally like scrapping and arguing with each other and embarrassing each other on the internet for free. Like, the real gag is that they should be monetizing this and really getting the girls to tap in. Like, why not do sit down interviews? Why not do sit down interviews with like CBS News or with a podcast, and like talk about what's going on in the relationship? Like, y'all talk about each other's stories. Like, y'all sit down, like, y'all have someone who is qualified to talk about it. Not no blogger. We're not talking about this ain't no shade room shit. Have someone who has some qualifications. Have someone who can like seriously carry out an interview. Sit down with y'all, either separately or together, and y'all talk about the relationship. Like, y'all talk about like how y'all feeling in the relationship, how y'all feeling out of the relationship, stuff like that. Like, really get deep with it and really show the sides of Offset and Cardi B. Because with Cardi B, y'all could, if like someone sat down with her and like talked to her in a setting like that instead of Twitter Spaces, you could see that that's a woman who's hurting. Like, you already see that it's a woman who's hurting. But if you sit down and like have her, you know, discuss her thoughts, detail her thoughts, talk about her story, you can tell that she is a woman who's hurting. And again, you can monetize it. If it's with Offset, like, have him sit down, have him show his ass, because you can tell how you could have that man talk about himself very briefly, and you could tell that he thinks he's hot shit. No shade. Word to the Cardi B song. Have someone mediate it, or make a show, like have them on Love and Hip Hop or something like that. Because King Reed said Love and Hip Hop. I personally don't think they should be on a reality show talking about this. I feel like they should do like more formal sit down interviews talking about the situation and like detailing it, because it's giving like, I feel like Cardi B should finalize their divorce. I think they should be done with each other. I think they should really part their separate ways, except for the children. But I think it would be nice if like someone mediated, stepped down, and like had a formal conversation with them, because it seems like they need that, and like we need that because we're sick of the social media posts. Cardi B, get off social media, get a social media manager, give it to the team, do what Megan does. Like Megan unfortunately got ran off social media because the men and like the barbs was like really dragging it, and like no one needs that to like impact their social health, so their mental health with how that situation went. But she like pops on social media every now and then, to interact with her fans, the hotties. But she mostly uses social media to promote her shit, which is how most celebrities should do it nowadays. If like it's really getting too much, or if like you can't handle social media, and it's given that Cardi B can't handle social media, at least in the ways that she's moving now. That's my thoughts on the whole situation. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the Cake Radio Show. I've been the CakeDive. I hope y'all enjoyed the 23rd episode of Vlogsmith. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel where you get episodes before anywhere else. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platforms, be sure to turn on notifications, follow the podcast, and share, and turn on ratings because it helps. Well, give it a good rating because it helps. I'm going to talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.